Chapter 1. Trump's new stance on Canada. The relationship between the United States and Canada took a surprising turn this week. After years of tension and trade disputes, President Donald Trump struck a notably different tone towards Canada. This shift followed a phone call between Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney on March 28, 2025. Both leaders described the conversation as very good. More importantly, they announced plans to start comprehensive talks on trade and security issues. This announcement marks a significant departure from Trump's previous stance on Canada. He had often criticized Canada on trade, particularly targeting the dairy industry. He also imposed tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum, citing national security concerns. This new approach suggests a potential thaw in relations. Several factors could be contributing to Trump's change of heart. The U.S. economy has been facing headwinds, and a trade war with a close ally like Canada could exacerbate the situation. Public opinion in the U.S. has also been critical of the disputes with Canada, putting pressure on the administration to find a resolution. Moreover, sources suggest that Trump has developed a degree of respect for Prime Minister Carney, which might be influencing his more conciliatory approach. This sudden shift has taken many by surprise. It remains to be seen whether this new tone will translate into concrete policy changes and a genuine reset in U.S.-Canada relations. The upcoming negotiations will be crucial in determining the direction of the relationship between these two close neighbors. Chapter 2. Potential demands and the Fortress North America strategy. As the U.S. and Canada prepare for a new round of trade and security talks, both sides are undoubtedly strategizing their positions and potential demands. Based on past history and current geopolitical realities, we can anticipate some of the key issues on the negotiating table. The U.S. will likely push for greater access to the Canadian dairy market, a long-standing point of contention. Changes to Canada's digital services tax, which has impacted American tech giants, are also expected to be on the agenda. In terms of security, increased Canadian military spending, particularly in the Arctic, will likely be a priority for the U.S. The development of Canada's critical minerals, crucial for advanced technologies, is another area where the U.S. sees potential for cooperation. Canada, on the other hand, will be looking for concessions from the U.S. The removal of existing tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum, imposed by the Trump administration on national security grounds, will be a top priority for Ottawa. Canada is also likely to seek limitations on the ability of the U.S. to impose such tariffs in the future, aiming to create more predictability in the bilateral trade relationship. Underlying these specific demands is a broader strategic concept that has been gaining traction: Fortress North America. This idea envisions closer economic and security ties between the U.S. and Canada, effectively creating a more integrated and fortified bloc. This would involve new restrictions on exports with security implications, particularly targeting China. It could also lead to greater coordination on cross-border data flows and stricter scrutiny of certain types of business investments. Chapter 3. Navigating trade talks in a campaign season. The timing of these negotiations is particularly interesting, coinciding with an upcoming Canadian federal election. This adds another layer of complexity to the already delicate dance of diplomacy. The outcome of the election could significantly impact the direction of the talks. A new government in Ottawa might have a different stance on key issues, potentially altering the negotiating landscape. Canadian politicians, particularly those in the current government, will need to navigate these sensitive negotiations carefully. Public opinion on issues like dairy supply management and closer ties with the U.S. is divided. Making concessions in these areas could alienate voters and harm their electoral prospects. Prime Minister Carney has already stated that Canada's supply management system in the dairy sector is off the table in the upcoming negotiations. This is a strategic move, aimed at preemptively addressing a potential point of contention and reassuring Canadian dairy farmers, a politically influential group. However, other issues, such as digital taxes and military spending, might prove to be more challenging to navigate in an election year. The Canadian public will be closely watching how these negotiations unfold, and any perceived concessions to the U.S. could become fodder for political attacks. Chapter 4. hope and uncertainty in the U.S.-Canada relationship. The recent shift in tone from President Trump towards Canada has injected a much-needed dose of optimism into the bilateral relationship. The planned trade and security talks offer a real opportunity to address long-standing irritants and forge a more cooperative path forward. However, significant uncertainties remain. Firstly, there is the unpredictable nature of President Trump himself. While he has struck a conciliatory tone for now, his past behavior suggests that this could easily change. Any number of factors could trigger a return to his previous hostile stance. Secondly, the existing tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum remain in place. These tariffs have hurt businesses and workers on both sides of the border. Their continued existence casts a shadow over the upcoming negotiations, serving as a constant reminder of the fragility of the current relationship. The road ahead for U.S.-Canada relations is fraught with both promise and peril. The upcoming negotiations will be a crucial test of whether the two countries can capitalize on this moment of opportunity and chart a course towards a more stable and mutually beneficial partnership. The outcome will have significant implications not only for the U.S. and Canada but also for the broader North American region and beyond. For more videos like this, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.